How's it going, guys? It's Angelo and Chris. We are back with another episode of Music Monday. This time we're focusing in on the 1970s. We're going to be highlighting some of the biggest music acts within that time frame to share with you guys. So starting in 1973, we have Aerosmith and the Kinks. Aerosmith actually opened for the Kinks back then. They were a bit smaller than them, but we found this really interesting article from the student newspaper, The Independent, and a quote from it reads, "The bare-chested look is in, as Aerosmith, a five-man hard rocker, started off last Saturday night's concert. The group, playing with two guitars, one bass, drummer, and lead singer, showed hints of individual spotlighting. Although consisting of fairly good musicians, the volume was too high and often overpowered the lead singer." So, I don't know, we can kind of see from here that it was a bit of a culture shock. They weren't really used to the open shirts, long hair, loud music, bunch of amps. So, you know, this was very new to them back then. Kind of cool to see. But moving over to a more legendary New Jersey act, Bruce Springsteen.
Right, so on September 22nd of 1974, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band came and played on the Kean's campus. Now, it's kind of funny about this concert was it's a bit of a famous one amongst Kean's musical history. If you ask me or Angelo, a few famous acts that have come and played at Kean, Bruce Springsteen, almost without a doubt, would be the first one mentioned, if not one of the three that we would mention. So, but at the time of this concert, he was not so famous yet. He had two albums out, and the album that would really put him on the map, On the Run, was recorded, but it wouldn't be released until a year or so after this concert took place. So he was kind of captured in this very almost formative moment in his career where he was like on the precipice of a breakthrough, but he wasn't quite there yet, which for him particularly, but especially any band, is just a really interesting time to come and have them play on campus and to really be a part of that musical journey for him, part of that history. Another tidbit that I want to mention that I think is quite cool is that also after the recording of Born to Run, two members had left the band and two members had joined. So David Sanchez and Ernest Carter, their pianist and drummer respectively, were replaced. Also respectively, pianist and drummer Roy Bittan and Max Weinberg. So not only was Bruce on the, right about to blow up in terms of his music, but even his band was going through some lineup changes, and overall Bruce and the E Street Band were just trying to find their footing, and nobody knew it at the time, of course, but only a year later would they finally gain that footing. And so kind of cool that Kean became a part of that history.
Yeah, and as we're going to see later in the series, Bruce does make a return back to Kean.
Right, yeah.
Shows us some love, so pretty cool to see. Last but not least, moving to 1976, we have maybe one of the most legendary two-man groups out there, Hall Oates, countless hits. But their time here at Kean is a bit interesting, according to, again, the student newspaper. It says that it was a divided full house. So the concert sold out. However, the reactions were pretty mixed. Went from very enjoyable to I almost fell asleep. And I think this has part to do with the opening act, that they didn't really know anything about the audience. Her name was Rosie, and it kind of, dulled them out before the, bigger performance of Hall Oates, which I'm sure got them pretty rowdy. So, as always, thank you guys for listening, and tune in next week to see part 2 of the 1970s musical acts.